There's a lot of things that need to be said this week, so without further ado.
That's all you ever hear about in this country is our differences. That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the money. You know, anything different, that's what they're going to talk about. Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything they can do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank.
Hey everybody, your resident man in black is back again for a new edition of the best kept secret in the conservative movement right here on MRC TV. I'm Nick Kangadis. Really quick, head on over to Rumble, subscribe to our channel, and hit that like button. And no matter where you watch our videos, please share a like and don't be afraid to leave a comment. I actually read what you guys have to say and I occasionally respond, so don't be shy. Now, on with the show. Has anyone else had just about enough of the establishment propaganda media getting away with the mountains of refuse they spit at us on a daily basis? And one thing I find is that a lot of people think this is a somewhat novel thing that began occurring in the last 30 years or so. I'm sick and tired of people saying, it's not like it was in the old days when people like Walter Cronkite was doing the news.
Stop it. Get some help.
Whether it's Cronkite or Walter Durante or Dan Rather or Brian Williams or George Stephanopoulos or Rachel Maddow or Joy Reid or Caitlin Collins or even Oprah Winfrey.
What? Hold up, wait a minute. Wow. Oh.
The press and subsequent televised media have been pulling the wool over the American people's eyes for as long as there's been news. In reality, like I said earlier, all the media is anymore, 99% of it anyway, is propaganda.
Natan Sharansky, who wrote in his memoirs, quote, "I was a loyal Soviet citizen until the age of 20. What it meant to be a loyal citizen was to say what you were supposed to say, to read what you were permitted to read, to vote the way you were told to vote, and at the same time, to know it was all a lie." The purpose of propaganda is not to convert you to its cause, though that can be a happy occasional side effect among the particularly retarded. The purpose of propaganda is to demoralize, to confront you with a message every rational man and woman knows implicitly to be incorrect and counterfactual, and yet to demand we acknowledge it as true or be societally scorned, divested of our status, employment, or personal relationships until such time that you peer up at your Cardassian inquisitors and proclaim aloud that yes, there are 5 lights, even though your ocular cortex clearly perceives that there are only 4.
And how did this happen? How could all of this have happened and we didn't know or just didn't notice to be so pervasive? Because it was subtle.
When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow.
What Yuri Bezmenov just said is 100% correct. The problem is that the US is way past that stage at this point. The media doesn't even hide their bias anymore. In saying that, here's a little montage that I put together so that all of you, and I understand the people that watch this show are already aware of, can really put into perspective just how devious and evil these people are.
Really evil, like so evil that you would say it was evil, like it's the fruits of the devil. Evil.
Because they will literally say anything for money, power, and attention.
And so, without further gilding the lily, and with no more ado,
here we go.
Russia, Moscow. Russia. What does tip the scales decisively in favor of you going and getting that shot that you really don't want is this. It's that you really do not want to be the person who gets it and then spreads it to other people. But God forbid, if you don't get vaccinated and then you get COVID and you unknowingly spread it to other people, who you know or who you encounter, and those people get sick from it or die from it. Those people give it to their family members, and then their mom or their dad dies from it because of you. Because you wouldn't get vaccinated. I mean, God forbid. I mean, could you live with yourself in that circumstance?
Cue Joy Reid, listen.
If this was happening anywhere else, would we see the same outpouring of support and compassion? Well, we don't need to ask ourselves if the international response would be the same if Russia unleashed their horror on a country that wasn't white and largely Christian.
This is a marker of a fascistic enterprise, an authoritarianish movement that has taken root in American soil, like a noxious weed and an invasive species.
And the donor class can't just sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
What you are seeing, the common theme that ties all of this together, is an expression of anger and frustration over what people feel like has become an all too familiar story playing out in places from across the country, not just here in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly, but fires have been started.
3 weeks ago, I think people were wrong to believe Jussie Smollett in such a wholesale way, to dismiss any skepticism that they had about this story and jump on the bandwagon and believe him and so publicly be on his side. And now, are we making the same mistake of believing the police chief in such a wholesale way? Jussie Smollett hasn't been convicted yet. He hasn't gone to trial. And now to say that, yes, he's guilty of this, the way everybody's saying. I've never seen anything like it, this kind of rush to judgment in such a short period of time.
Jussie is a fighter. And this is wrong, what happened to him. We will keep fighting with you. We will find out what's going on. We're not going to let this go.
And I think that the dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job. That is our job.
That is our job.
Do I really need to say much more? As I said in a previous video, I no longer take anything these people say seriously other than to understand that what they say influences mental defectives. But my mission from here on out is to mock, ridicule, laugh, and point the finger, and I assume all of you know which one, at these troglodytes for their very intentional subversion of the American people over the decades and the years going forward. These people detest you because they believe you're beneath them. They feel the service they provide is essential, and that all of you should be grateful for the privilege of hearing them squeal and squawk and bleat on and on and on about what they want you to worry about while they mislead you about what's really going on in the world. They lie by omission and they lie by intention. And all of us are just supposed to sit here and say,
Thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir. May I have another?
So, will the algorithms allow the things that need to be said to be seen and heard, or will they just squash the reach of this video like they do most other videos we do? Let me know in the comments, where I do read most and reply to some, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel on Rumble and hit that like button. If you like this video, don't forget to share, comment, and give it a thumbs up. Those are the best ways to help these videos reach more people, and it's the best way to let us know you want us to keep these videos coming. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so that YouTube might actually let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video if they haven't censored it or taken it down yet. Like us on Facebook, check out more of our work at MRCTV.org, and if you want to support our content and the conservative movement, head on over to MRC.org/donate to help us out, since we're a nonprofit and couldn't do what we do without all of you. For MRC TV, I'm Nick Kangadis saying, pray that gay away.